So what do you like about living here in general? Is it easy to make friends here? How have you felt being like a foreigner who's living here? Did you experience any culture shock? Most people think about Poland, they think about Warsaw or they think about Krakow. But one of the cities that is quite overlooked is the city of Wrocław. And I was there, I spent about 4 days there. I have a friend who lives there, so I decided to make a trip out there while I was visiting Europe. And I took to the streets, just like my last video in Oslo, Norway, to talk to people who live in Wrocław about their experiences of living in this wonderful city. So we were talking about it a little bit before I started recording, but like, why do you like living here in Wrocław?
It's because of people. I was here only once before moving here, and I was like, I was in tram, and I just saw these people. Warsaw is so different because it's main city in Poland, and people in Warsaw just hurry very much, and they are so close. And just don't look at each other. And in Wrocław, people are so open, and so you can talk with everybody here, even in shop.
One of the first things I liked about the city is that people seem very happy here. They are smiling. I was like, it was something that caught my eye, really. And when I moved here, I really liked the flow of the city, how life is here, actually, and that there are so many beautiful places just to go around and sightseeing, just to sit around like we are doing it right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm more of an introvert, so for me it was a possibility to go for alone walks to many places, really.
Yeah.
And everywhere I could find something nice. Or something interesting, some very difficult history as well, but that always made me curious, okay, what really happened here and what were the stories of people who lived here. You might know that the city has a very rich history of many nations that lived here over the ages. So,
right.
I think this was one of the points that was very attracting or appealing to go somewhere and to think, okay, what happened here? And what's the story of this place? So that what really attracted me.
What have you enjoyed about living here so far?
I guess it's just my friends. I can stick with them sometimes, and I think this is the only thing that keeps me here right now.
I would say similar thing, that without friends in here, there's not that many opportunities to do, because how many times can you go to a zoo? I guess. Yeah. And it's just better city to explore with people.
Is it easy to make friends here?
I had friend base, so I don't really think. I mean, I'm kind of person who don't like making new friends and such. So. Yeah, that's, I guess, not a question for me, to be honest.
But so then you guys knew each other then before? You knew her before you moved here?
No.
That's like very ironic. You're like, I'm not good.
Yeah. I'm kind of person who don't like making new friends. Yeah.
Not red-handed.
Yeah.
So you met her here then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
What's something that you don't like about the city?
About Wrocław?
If there is anything.
It's a difficult question because I love architecture here and I love people here. Maybe I don't like that it's not much green, not very green here. If you will see old pre-war photos of Wrocław, there were always everywhere, just like aisles of trees, and that's something that I really miss here. But it's city still, so it's not that easy to create that much.
A lot of traffic.
Oh, okay.
But this is a city with that is common amongst students, so there's a lot of young people in here. I think it's also architecturally beautiful city, and I guess Poland is in itself sort of okay. If you if you want to have a sea, you got a sea. You got mountains, and it's not a big country, so there's always, I guess, something to do.
Yeah. What don't you like about being here? Is there anything that stands out that hasn't been that great about living here in Wrocław?
No, I think.
Yeah.
No, everything is pretty good.
Okay.
The people here are friendly and they are ready to help you in any way, but you have to ask. Because the faces are not look like that they will not help, but you once you ask them, they will help you the best.
I see a lot of foreigners like myself who are
Okay.
studying here.
Probably the most people are from Spanish, from Turkey, and Germany, of course. Generally, in this place we are here, there is so many Germans, so it's quite difficult sometimes to talk with them because they not always know English. But we are prepared, at least. Moving our hands and
Yeah,
this kind of funny
Communication.
communication. Yeah.
Yeah. How have you felt being like a foreigner who's living here?
Yeah, Poland. In Poland, most of the people are Europeans. So, but Asian people are few and far between. So I feel like I'm an alien to this country sometimes. But most of people here are friendly, especially the teenagers. But just be careful when you go on the street on some national holiday, because a lot of right-wing people out there, and they are pretty aggressive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just be prepared to run or fight when you run into them.
Okay.
But other than that, I think this country is pretty nice to live.
You've been living here for like a year. Like, what do you think about living here as somebody who is a foreigner in this city?
Well, actually, it was very quite interesting experience here. I really enjoyed here, and there is no racism here, and the environment of education is also well. I met a lot of foreign students also here, even in my class, some students from Iran and some students from Indian guys, and some from Sweden as well. So we have a multicultural environment here.
Okay.
So we really enjoyed here.
Did you experience any culture shock when you came here, like just in terms of the way things are versus back home in Pakistan?
No, I think so. No.
Okay.
It's because the culture is already in movies, and we used to watch Hollywood movies.
Okay.
And that's why it's not a shock. Of course, it's a new experience, but it was not a shock.
How about in terms of costs? Living here, is it fairly for yourself? Is it affordable?
Warsaw and Wrocław are two most expensive cities in Poland, so it's not always that easy. It is a big city. Now prices are higher and higher. We know just inflation, and it's not always that easy, but it's to live.
It's still
like we can deal with it, but it's harder.
manageable. What are like your biggest expenses living here?
I must say, back then when I was in Poland 2 years ago, everything was insanely cheap. The food, the rental, the gasoline, everything is cheaper than you thought. But after the Russo-Ukrainian war, everything goes up very quickly. But I still find here fairly cheap to live. But speaking of the cost of living, I think for now the biggest challenge is housing. Yeah, because we compete with a lot of Ukrainian immigrants.
Okay. So how much has housing gone up, like cost-wise?
For studio room, I'm paying for approximately 1,900 zloty.
Okay. How has like the war in Ukraine impacted life here?
I guess that the most important thing, like, standing out, is like we see that there are more Ukrainians around after the war, and obviously the first weeks it was crazy with a lot of people coming and without almost anything, and
I mean, we hosted one lady with a child from Ukraine, so we were pretty close to what was going on, and yeah, I volunteered in the refugee support center, and it felt like it's gonna be difficult for the city to absorb all of that, but after these months it looks much better. I mean, I'm not that much maybe into details of what's going on in these support centers, but we don't consider this to be a problem. I think we can hear a lot of Ukrainians working already, and it looks like they feel well and they are functioning. So at least from the first sight, it looks like we handle it.
In Poland, we remember Russia from a very wrong part of the history, when they invaded Poland, and then they had a lot to say with the communist government for many years. So a lot of Polish people were raised by the grandmothers and granddads who just remember war. When the war began in Ukraine, it just it was a part of. For example, me, I just remembered what my grandma was telling me about what happened during the Second World War. It's really like it resonates in you, even if you didn't live it yourself.
Right.
We have a big community, big community of Ukrainians living in Wrocław from the pre-war period, and now we gained even more people coming to the city, running away from the war. And this created somehow, a different feeling in the city. And also, I have people from Ukraine working for us.
Oh, okay.
And the day that the war started, it was like one of the most sad days in this place, because we were staying here. It was the Fat Thursday, if you know the tradition, the donuts, and. We were here in the morning, and we felt that the war started. It was something we lost our smiles, we lost our power. People were just crying. So it was really sad.
What are some of the big worries right now for people here in Wrocław or in Poland? Not necessarily just related to the war, but just in general.
I think that in general, the global situation is about the inflation, the prices of gas and electricity, going up, the uncertain future.
Yeah.
This is the situation right now. The prices.
Have you had to increase prices for?
Yes, we did. We are trying to do this slowly to keep the balance, but we don't know how it's going to be next month, and. Especially the electricity went up 30%, so this is huge for us. This is unbelievable, because when you expect some increase, it can be something doable, but I think it's not for a lot of people, because this increase is making a huge difference in your expenses that you have in the company. So we are watching what's going on. We are listening to the news. We'll see. Hopefully, they will somehow find a solution. I mean, our politicians and the government will do something to help people, because it's a huge problem.
Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to share it with a friend or share it with a family member. That is the best way that you can actually go about supporting this YouTube channel. And if you have feedback, you have comments, you have ideas for future videos, make sure to hit me up in the comments as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.